It is just a huge honor for me today to be podcast interviewing Tammy Rowles. Her last name sounds like dinner roll, so it's making me hungry. I want to put butter on a hot dinner roll, but it's actually Tammy Rowles. Her website is thehubfitness.com. It's at 4425 East Agave Road, so it's right across from Mountain Point, kind of, right?
Directly behind Circle K and the CVS.
So you go to Circle K and CVS.
And you're gonna make a turn at that red light, and you're gonna go right by an office building. In fact, it says the Hub, and when I went by it myself, I thought it was a bike shop.
Interesting. So her story unfolds with an energetic spirit of life and a passion for living each day to the fullest. After 25 years of restaurant and managerial experience, Tammy decided to take a new career path, but that path was not certain. Her son convinced her to join a gym with him, and what became of that was a total transformation. Tammy had no fitness experience or desire to even be involved in the fitness industry. Each passing day led to new discovery and transformation, not only in her own physique, but in the way fitness is viewed as a whole. True fitness starts within each one of us. It's not about how many push-ups or reps you can do. It's about building lasting relationships, making each day better than the day before, going the extra mile, not taking life so seriously, and understanding that until you walk a minute in someone else's shoes, you have no idea what that person is going through. This is a key to success. To meet each person where they are and build them up, educate them to be open and understanding, to realize it starts with one and ends with many. She has been blessed as a coach and instructor for the last 14 years in the fitness industry. Grateful for the opportunity to use fitness as a platform to make a difference and build relationships. Tammy recently took a position managing Hub Fitness, welcoming the opportunity to bring people together. Here we will learn what the Hub is all about and a recipe for success. So were you in in your restaurant business? Was it at some chain or what?
I was in Pittsburgh, downtown Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I worked for the Steelers, the great Steelers of
No, the Steelers robbed the Arizona Cardinals of our only Super Bowl. We were all cheering. We won, and then with like 1 minute to go.
That's
you remember
true.
that game?
That would have been a wonderful Super Bowl this year.
This whole block was screaming, yelling, and then it went silent. I cannot believe that. But so are you a Steelers fan, or did you?
I am.
You finally convinced?
Yeah. Okay. So I used to work for them for 5-6 years.
For the Steelers?
Yes.
Wow.
So Randy Grossman managed it, and then it was co-owned by Rocky Blyer and John Stallworth and all those teams from the great there.
And the quarterback, Terry Bradshaw, he's my favorite quarterback of all time because he's got 4 Super Bowl rings and he's bald.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
you could pass as his brother.
I could pass as his brother. So you were born and raised in Pittsburgh?
Outside of Pittsburgh, actually in farming area in a place called Enum Valley. And the Amish are my neighbors there.
Wow. So what happened on your journey to go from Pittsburgh to Phoenix? You just wanted to pick another town that started with P?
You know what? It was all accidental. In fact, that's the story of my life. I went to RIT, which is the #1 photography school in the country, and I never took a photography course ever. And as it goes, after I left college, I worked downtown Pittsburgh at Station Square, Bobby Rubino's place for ribs, and I did that in the evening. And during the day, I was offered a job to be a photo retoucher. So all of a sudden, I have no experience, and I come in and work for one of the top-notch photo retouching companies there in Pittsburgh. I actually did Danny Marino's wedding, and I was a photo retoucher for his wedding back in the day. So it's so funny how you go to RIT, don't take one course there, and end up being a photo retoucher. Now people look at you, and I start showing my age because now you do it right on the computer. Before, I used to work right on the photograph.
Wow. Yeah, when I started dentistry 30 years ago, we had film, and you dip them in 4 different tanks. And then what the big deal was, then they made that automatic, and now, of course, it's all digital, and that whole dark room's a closet now.
Yeah, we don't even have dark rooms anymore.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's why a lot of times I think it's jaded when people say that, that our incomes haven't changed that much in the last 30 years. Like, when I was little, only rich people could afford a camera, and then you had to go get it developed. And then from the time you took it was so long that when you got back your 12 photos, half of them were all ruined or the sun or your thumb was over it. And now you see kids just taking pictures all day long. I remember me and my 5 sisters, we would all save up and chip in on an album. And now these kids have 1,000 songs on their smartphone. So maybe the nominal dollars are pretty much the same, but the standard of living is much greater than when we were kids.
That's true. A lot has changed.
Yeah.
So being in the restaurant industry, then I went on to work for Marriott, and then we got a job transfer to State College and worked at
State College?
State College, home of Joe Paterno. In fact, I waited on him and his wife and knew them quite well. I worked at a place called Duffy's Tavern in Bullsburg, and football Saturdays were always crazy, and raised the kids there so I could work and tend bar, and I did caterings and banquets.
How many kids do you have?
We have 2 boys.
And how old are they?
They are 28 and 30 now.
Oh, wow.
So I had them when I was 5.
My oldest is 28, so we're same age. So what'd you say, 28 and 30 what?
28 and 30. I had them when I was 5.
And do they live in Ahwatukee?
One lives in Gilbert and one lives in Ahwatukee.
Wow, that's always nice
Have
when
them
your
close
kids live
by,
nearby. So any grandkids yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
Well, when did you move to Phoenix then?
So we moved to Phoenix in 1995. It was a job transfer that my husband was offered, and we first turned it down because you know how you go somewhere, you know how beautiful it is here compared to Pennsylvania, the sun, everything, and you're like, you know what, the grass isn't always greener on the other side of the fence, so we turned the job down. 6 months later, we were offered it again. We came back out here for spring break. We enjoyed our week tremendously. And they had a snowstorm back in Pennsylvania. And we come home to flooded pipes and, you know, everything had broke. And it was like, okay, it's time to go to Phoenix. So that's what we did.
So what company did your husband work for that transferred him?
It was called Vesuvius. And they deal with anything dealing with heat, refractory business, so, you know, coal plants back in the States. Here it's copper. There was Phelps Dodge that was really popular back in the day, so he would develop the product and then go in and put the product in the furnaces and so forth. And
does
now
he still
he's
do
a
that?
salesman. Yes, he does.
So he still works for that company or Phelps Dodge?
Yes, no, he still works for the Vesuvius.
Vesuvius?
Yes.
But its main customer is Phelps Dodge?
Well,
Vesuvius?
not anymore. They are not the industry. One of his biggest clients is in Mexico with the copper plants that they have there.
Huh, they have copper plants in Mexico?
Yeah.
I knew they always talk about them down in South America, but I never
Yeah.
heard of one in Mexico, but they have them in Mexico.
So, yeah, they have 2 big ones there, and that's one of the biggest clients that Vesuvius has. And that company is owned by over in the Europeans, so
Yeah.
it's not well known here.
So when Vesuvius transferred into Phoenix, what did you do?
I decided to keep working for Marriott, and that way I could be at home in the evening when he traveled, and I could work during the day while they were in school, so it was a perfect fit. And then you get comfortable.
And what schools did they go to?
They went to Sierra, they went to Altadena, and Desert Vista.
Desert Vista.
Yeah.
Well, my 4 boys all went to Desert Vista, but they went, what was it, Estrella and then Akimal?
Okay.
Estrella, so Estrella, Akimal. So they probably know my boys. Your 28-year-old is the same as my oldest. Ask him if he knows Eric Farran.
Yeah, in fact, I recognize that name.
From detention?
No, but I do.
The after-school program?
I don't know. I used to work for Kyrene through Marriott as well.
Oh,
so
wow.
I did all their food service for the district and so forth. So that was exciting.
So then what happened? When did you leave Marriott?
Oh,
And
probably
was that-
after the kids. You know, you get 40 pounds overweight, you get a little like tired, and you're just like. And my son was going to the YMCA, and he was working out
Down in the foothills?
Down in the foothills, and it was only $19 a month for him to do that. And one day he comes home and he says, "Mom, I've outgrown that location. I want to join LA Fitness." And I'm like, "Dude, really? Because that's going to be like $150, $100 a month." You know, no. Well, Mom, if you join with me, it's only $150 for both of us. So he convinced me to go. And I don't like to work out, so I thought, well, swim laps. I'll go do what I can do there. The hot tub really had my appeal. So did the sun and everything. So I joined, and I started taking a water aerobics class. And I'm like, you know, that's not bad. I can move in the water. You know, people only see you from here up, so they don't know what you're doing down below. So I started taking a couple classes and loved it, and decided that maybe I'd start teaching water classes because they were having a hard time getting an instructor there. And if I taught classes, I didn't have to pay a monthly membership. So now my son and I could go for, no money at all.
This is your oldest son?
Yes.
The 30-year-old.
30-year-old. So
Well, that's pretty cool that he wanted to work out with his mom, though.
Well,
I mean, how many
but I
kids
was
at
in
that
the
time?
water and he was doing the other things. But, we would go, and he was a football player at Desert Vista back in the day. So he was really looking. He wanted to play for the Steelers. That was his goal.
Oh, wow.
Problem was he was only 140 pounds and 5'6". So that's not going to cut it in the NFL. So
You need to have a really large mom to play in the NFL.
Or a large dad, either one.
Well, I don't know. A lot of large dads marry little girls.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen that for years. So, you really need a 6-foot tall mother if you're going to end up in the professional
Well, that didn't
sports.
work out so well. So then, long story short, I started teaching. One class turned into several. One location at LA Fitness turned into 4 or 5. Then all of a sudden, Pecos Community Center opens up, and they're looking for instructors to teach there.
Pecos Community Center.
Yes, so that is Pecos Park. You know where that is?
Oh, the big Pecos.
Yep.
There's a park there, but I didn't know there was a...
Yes, see, you learn something new every day.
There's a community center there that has survived the freeway expansion?
Yep, it's still alive and well. They have pickleball. It's called Pecos Park. And they have tennis courts there that they are now converting into pickleball courts because that's taking the whole area by storm now. But they have a small little fitness workout room there, and they charge people $50 a year to go there, which is incredible.
We saw that pickleball that was pitched on Shark Tank years ago. Was it? Have you heard of Shark Tank?
Yes, I have.
That was pitched on Shark Tank like 5 years ago. But you're saying
something?
It's taken off now in Ahwatukee?
Oh, it's everywhere in Ahwatukee.
Pickleball. Spelled just like the eating the pickle?
Yep.
Do you like it?
I love it. I've played it several times, and if I had more time, I would.
Wow.
It's a cross between ping pong and tennis, so you don't have all the running.
Huh.
So it's pretty amazing there. So I started teaching boot camps outside there at the park. And, that started to click. And then the city shut down. And they were like, you know what, we're on a budget restriction. So what we're going to do is cancel the 6 a.m. classes, and we're not going to open up until like 8 o'clock. So that meant all the clients in my 6 a.m. class had nowhere to work out. So at that point, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll start my own business. So overnight, I started my own business, got an LLC, carried those clients, and to this day, I still teach classes there, which is amazing.
So an opportunity knocked, you just kicked the door down.
Well, I just walked in the door, and then that class led to, I went to the Arizona Grand. They were looking for a water instructor. So I took a job there as an instructor.
And you call it the Arizona Grand. Now that's the new term.
That's the resort.
What did we call it back
We used to
in
call
the
it the Point at South Mountain.
I
Remember that?
I still call it the Point at South
And
Mountain.
sometimes I do as well.
And no one knows what I'm talking about. Point at South Mountain with Mr. Gosnell. Did you ever meet him?
Yes.
And he was he was Air Force Academy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so all of his senior management were Air Force Academy. They didn't have to have any experience in anything development, but he figured, dude, you made it through the Air Force Academy.
You got something going.
Yeah, and he told me, I'll never forget. He said, if they're from the Air Force Academy, they're highly disciplined. I don't have to worry about them. They'll do their job. They'll work their butt off. But anyway, so now it's the Arizona Grand
Resort.
Arizona Grand Resort. So then you started working there.
So working
when
there.
When it was Point at South Mountain, or was it Arizona Grand?
I think it was the Point at South Mountain is when I started.
Yeah.
And so I'm still there. And it turned out that one of my clients there has a son who owns Hub Fitness. And he was looking for a manager.
One of your clients at Arizona Grand Resort had a son?
Has a son who is part owner of Hub Fitness.
Was that Mark?
Mark Godfrey. Correct.
Mark Godfrey, right?
Yes. And so she wanted to know, with all the people that come across my path, she wanted to know if I knew anybody that might want to manage her son's fitness center. And I'm like, maybe. I said, give me his name, give me a number, and I'll contact him. And she was like, well, who are you thinking? And I said, well, maybe me. Because what I was doing was being a ping pong ball, and I was going up and down 48th Street 5 or 6 times a day, teaching a class here at the Ahwatukee Rec Center at Pecos Park, Arizona Grand, and it's like finally, all these years later, my son is like, Mom, you're getting too old to work out. Like, maybe you should quit going from class to class and think about getting a real job. And I'm like, but I had a real job. It's not what it's all cracked up to be. And so another opportunity fell into my lap, and I went and talked to the owner of the Hub Fitness, and I'm like, you know what?
Which was Mark Godfrey?
Correct. There's like 3 or 4 owners there. So anyway, I went there and interviewed with them and said, you know what, you really don't need a full-time manager here, because it really isn't a gym. It's a place where people hang out. They're open in the mornings, early morning, like 5, 6 a.m. They also have some classes at 8 and 9 a.m. And after that last 9 a.m. class, there's nothing that goes on there till 3 in the afternoon, or maybe 4, depending on personal training. There's some classes that are at 4:30, 5:30, and then they have a competitor class later on at 6:30. But by 7:30 at night, the place is shut down. So it's not a gym. It's a place where people gather. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is an amazing. You could do events. You could bring people here. And the sky's the limit here. So we started going back and forth, and all of a sudden we started creating a whole new job and a whole new perspective on how the Hub would be viewed, how the Hub could be reintroduced to Ahwatukee and get people excited about working out. Because in the end, people just want to have a place that they feel welcome, that they feel like they belong, and a place that is going to make them succeed and motivate them. And we have the program, we have all of that that's going to set them up for success. Because in the end, we don't want your money and then never see you. We want to know what goes on in your life every day. We want to be part of your world, and we want to know what we can do to make you better than you were the day before. And all our trainers know everybody by name. They have their cell phone numbers, and if they're not there, they're texting them, hey, where are you today? Are you okay? Is there something wrong? No excuse. Your laundry can wait until tomorrow. You need to get in and sign up for class. So it's amazing the effect that our trainers have on the people that come there, because it engages them and it keeps them motivated to come. And people who have been there 5, 6 years, and they won't go anywhere else. So it is amazing to see what has all come through that. Well, then I'm all about, let's have a party. Every day should be a party, and if not, we need to change it. And so now we're starting to create events and have people get involved and excited. And it's like, what do you guys want to do? You want to have a Cinco de Mayo party? And they're like, yeah. Well, how do you see that? You know, someone says, let's rent a machine. And then someone else is like, why rent that machine when we can bring in 5 blenders, have 5 different margarita tastes going on? Someone else is like, let's have a glow-in-the-dark party where we have a workout Friday night and we change out all the lighting to glow. We get that dust and sprinkle on everybody. We have glow-in-the-dark drinks. And so this is something that is a game changer that keeps people coming back, because in the end, it isn't about the workout. Because when you're working out, the question is, how fit is fit? Like, when do you stop? Or is there ever a stop? And you're setting yourself up for failure. But if you bring people in where they feel part, and they're part of a community and a culture, they're going to keep coming back day in and day out, because they don't want to miss a day of what you have going on in your world. And every day we're creating something new, whether we're making breakfast for them or coffee. Someone decided that when we're making coffee, they're going to dump some fresh ground cinnamon into the coffee grounds, and all of a sudden this coffee is like no other. So it's all about the little things that end up being the big things at the Hub. We have an exciting thing that's happening tomorrow. We met a stranger. Turns out he's a police detective in Mesa, and he is starting this new program, giving talks to teenagers and the parents about cyberbullying, about sexing, about all these things that go on that teenagers could be unaware when they're texting and they don't know that they're meeting up with strangers. And he just started this business a month ago. And we have the wonderful opportunity to open our doors to him so that he can open this up to Ahwatukee and let people come and figure out, hey, there's things going on in this world today that just aren't right. And parents, you may not be aware of it. And students, you may not be aware of it. And so because I'm a police officer, I am a safe zone. You can come to me. So I can't wait to see what this does to our community. Because in the end, if you look up Hub, it's a place of people gathering. So it doesn't matter what we do at the Hub as long as we embrace everybody and every opportunity, because our goal is to make everybody better than yesterday. And when we come together, it's a community and a culture like no other. It is amazing to watch.
Man, you're amazing. You know, you hear things that sometimes girls like to go to gyms where it's all girls. You know, some gyms like in California it was all bodybuilding. What was that, Venice Park or something? Do you have like a demographic? Is it mostly girls,
here's the
boys,
thing.
young,
We don't
old?
even like to consider ourselves a gym, because we're not. When I think of a gym, I look in and I see the fancy equipment. You see people wandering around with their drinks, with their towels. You know, they're just sort of wandering around aimlessly. But you have top of the line equipment that you're looking at, and something's missing. And so we don't call ourselves a gym. You open up the doors, and you feel welcome from the moment you walk in, because everybody knows your name. So first off...
Now, that was a movie or
that was a program called Cheers.
Cheers.
So Cheers is no longer, it's now called The Hub.
With Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, so instead of Woody, we have new actors.
And it's great because, you know, that era, you know, sitting in a bar is really not a great idea. So if you can have the Cheers environment, but take away the alcohol and get in some exercise.
And we actually have, when you walk in, we actually have a long bar with bar stools. And that's where we serve up our coffee and Real Hub mugs and pass it out to our members. And when you join the Hub, it's like you're part of family. You know, it's not just coming to a gym. You know, we want to know what's going on in your life. And it's amazing when people start to find out, and the connections and the fellowships that are built just from coming in there. And after a workout, and people are sweating and they're huffing and puffing and they're laying on the floor because they have to catch their breath for 5 minutes, then that's when the magic happens. And that's true fitness right there, because we'll go and we'll serve our members the coffee, or just yesterday we made freshly squeezed orange juice from oranges from someone else's tree that someone had donated for us. And people start relating and they start talking to one another, and all of a sudden they find out that, you know what, the struggles that they're going through, they're not alone, that so many other people are going through the same struggles, but everyone is afraid to admit that, you know what, my world isn't perfect, I'm not having things go so well in my life today. And at the Hub, that is the magic that you see after the workout. And people leave there, and you can just see the weight of the world off their shoulders when they leave the door. And we have people as young as teenagers working out with their parents. We have the 30-year-olds, the 40-year-olds, 50s, 60s. In fact, our owners are pushing, who knows, I know they're older than 60. They could be even 70, and they are
The owners are?
Yes.
Mark Godfrey?
No, some of the other owners. We have Stu and Candy Olson, and I believe they could be 70 according to their driver's license, but they look like they're 40. And they are doing pull-ups and workouts like no other.
They live in Ahwatukee?
They live in Ahwatukee as well. And their daughter is one of the owners, Darity.
What's her name?
Darity Olson.
Darity Olson.
Yes, and she's one of the owners as well.
Huh.
And so the demographic is family. That's the best way I can describe the Hub.
So if they go to your website, I'm on your website right now. The website is thehubfitness.com.
Okay.
What are they going to find on your website?
Oh, they're going to find a picture. We're in the middle of revamping our website, because years ago the Hub was focusing a lot on CrossFit. And if you remember when CrossFit was first introduced, it was taking the world by storm.
Did it used to be a CrossFit place?
Well, but they do a lot of CrossFit workouts.
Okay.
So they were gearing a lot towards the CrossFit industry. In conversation with Mark Godfrey, I was talking to him about all the people that I meet in the fitness industry, and we had a lot of mutual acquaintances and friends because we're both in the industry, and there's a small niche of people that are really into CrossFit. But the bigger niche in Ahwatukee is the people that need fitness but are intimidated by fitness. And so that is the new angle that the Hub is starting to take. And we're reaching out to the public. We're reaching out and introducing ourselves and creating a whole new area where people are not intimidated, but they can watch themselves evolve, and before they know it, they'll be doing a CrossFit workout that they never even thought was possible.
A lot of people listening to you might not, may probably heard of CrossFit, but explain what CrossFit is.
CrossFit is a hard, I want to call it a hardcore workout where you're jumping over boxes, you're lifting barbells, you're doing like amazing things, and you may not know what that challenge is. You may be doing pull-ups and burpees, and you may be going one thing to the other, to time or rounds for time. You may be pushing tires, you may be jumping over tires, you may be doing things that you thought only Hercules could do. It's hard to say. CrossFit is really a brand name, so I really hate to say what CrossFit does.
I had no idea. So you're saying pull-ups and burpees. So you're saying when I'm overeat, I'm burping. I'm actually exercising.
You could be.
What is a burpee?
But you might want to jump down on the ground and thrust your feet backwards.
What is a burpee?
A burpee is when you go from standing position and you squat down and put your hands on the ground and you thrust your feet backwards.
Okay.
You do a push-up, bring your feet forward, jump up in the air, give a high five, 3 somersaults, and land on your feet. Well, no, I'm kidding about the somersault.
I burp very differently. But anyway...
but people that don't work out...
So was that a fad, or is CrossFit still booming? Or?
It's still booming, and there's competitions. In fact, the games are this month. It's a big deal. So people that work out, I mean, they are going for competitions, and we do have a competition group at the hub that, works with each other, and they help each other so that they can go to these games and compete. And one of our employees, a couple of people there have placed first and third that work out there. So, we have the best of all spectrums there.
So you have, so your main trainers are Craig Downey and Mike Rast?
Yes, and we also have Megan Kelly. We call her Emrod Kelly. She is amazing. She also does stretching, and she's certified in CrossFit as well, teaches classes. But Craig is our main trainer. Craig is. And Mike Rast, he thinks of himself as the lemon meringue. He's the inside operation of the pie, and Craig is the one that is out in there, and he knows everybody by name. He's our top trainer. And so Mike and I are in the back.
He's a handsome young man.
Yes, he is. He just recently got married.
Oh, did he?
He just celebrated his 1-year anniversary Sunday. And
how many years have you been married now?
Longer than I can count.
Well, congratulations on that. Are you giving him marriage advice?
He's going to have to figure it out like the rest of us.
So not to be confused, but so it's not CrossFit, it's not yoga. Is it different classes, or is there...
There's different classes.
Is it kind of like gumbo, where there's a little everything?
There is a little of everything. There's strength and conditioning classes, and that's where people are learning how to use the big barbells and do lifts and that kind of thing. There's one of our popular is called the HIIT, and that stands... HIIT. HIIT, and that stands for high intensity interval training. So you're going to get your heart rate up. You're going to work full blast, like maybe 1 minute, and then you're going to rest for 20 or 30 or whatever your intervals are. And you're going to do a strength. You're going to get that heart rate up. You might go for a run. You're going to do pull-ups. You're going to do whatever it is for 45 minutes, guaranteed to break a sweat. Then there's a class called FIT, and that one isn't as high intensity. You're going to do workouts, you're going to do circuits, but you're going to have a chance to breathe in between. You're going to have a chance to blow your nose or give someone a high five in between. And we also do spin classes, riding bikes, and that kind of thing.
So how big is this place?
There's one huge room, probably as big as your house right here, and then there's a smaller room that's set up. Personal training there.
So I'm looking at your website. So it looks like you have at thehubfitness.com. It sounds like you have group classes, spin, yoga, and personal training. And so spin is when you ride a bicycle and not go anywhere.
Right.
Okay. Is that
But
popular?
you don't have to worry about a flat tire either.
Oh, I know. Oh, sure. Yeah, my favorite bike ride. I just have 2 bike rides. Either bike to Maricopa and back, which is 43
I've done
miles.
that. That's an awesome ride.
Yeah, and the other one is just ride around South Mountain. And I love both of those rides. And I did 3 Ironmans, 3 Arizona Ironmans a year in a row, 3 years in a row.
Fascinating.
When I turned 50, that was my goal. But I can't do it anymore because it's so dangerous.
Yes,
I mean,
it is with
you're
all the
riding to
cars.
Maricopa, or you're riding on the street, and every third car is driving like this. And there's been so many people killed in Ahwatukee that I realize it doesn't make sense to exercise to be healthier and to live longer when you're
Well, you
just
could be killed on
when
the way.
somebody's texting. I mean, it used to be
Yeah.
when we were little, it was all drunk driving.
Yes.
And they cracked down on that so hard. But when the drunk driving, for most of our lives, it was 30,000 deaths a year. And now the drunk driving cause of that is not even in the top 5, but it's gone up to 40,000. So this is worse than drunk.
It is.
Because if you had a few drinks, you're probably like paying real close attention not to mess up or run a red light. But when you're texting, you have no idea what you're doing. And it seems like the community doesn't talk about the fact that, we thought when we were little that if you really cracked down on drunk driving, maybe that 30,000 deaths would have gone to 20 or 10, and
Right.
it just would have been silly accidents. But it's gone up to 40,000. So I haven't ridden my bike a year. So is spin getting more popular just because it's safer?
A lot of people love it. We only have 17 bikes, so you have to sign up for class and a wait list there. And the way our classes are, we have an app called Mind Body app. And
Mind Body app?
Yes.
Is it on the your website?
I don't know if it's on the website. It is,
Can you find a link to that app, Ryan?
and it would be this right here. And you put that app
Mind Body.
on your phone. And so all our members have access to this. And then what they can do is they can sign up, they can see what classes we have to offer, and they can sign up for that.
Now, is the Mind Body app through your gym, or is that
It's an app that a lot of fitness gym uses.
the Mind Body app?
Right. So it takes care of all of our finances, our classes. It sets it all up for us, sets up our members' payment schedules. It's a
Speaking
wonderful.
of payment, what is the fee?
We have all kinds of fees for the hub. A standard fee for a month is $149. If you have a couple membership, it's $228 a month. If you work for an office or a corporation and you get their discount, it's $99. And maybe a membership isn't for you because you travel. We offer punch cards where you can purchase 10 or 20 classes at a time and come when you want. A lot of people cannot do the memberships with their travel schedule. So we have...
Is there a lot of traveling people in Ahwatukee?
There is, believe it or not. Currently we have 79 people on punch cards because of their schedules.
Huh, that is amazing.
And we have 146 members a month. So
you have 146
members a month.
members a month that come into your gym.
Yes.
And your trainers know the names of all 146 people.
That they do. As a matter of fact, if somebody has not come in several years, they will be like, yes, I remember that person hasn't been here since then. So it is amazing, their memory. And then we'll check on them. I'll send them an email and say, hey, we noticed that you were here, what's going on? And they're like, oh my gosh, they come back just because we've reached out to them.
So let's break down those 146 people. Maybe just because I'm fat, I would assume that most people join a gym because they're trying to lose weight, but that's probably a personal bias. Of the 146, how many do you think, why do you think they joined? Was it losing weight? Was they...
People join for so many reasons. You might be
What
in a
are these
rut.
reasons?
You might be in a rut in your life. You may have no energy. You may just be feeling like that middle-age syndrome or whatever, and they feel a void in their life. So they're thinking, okay, I need a gym. I really don't like to work out, or maybe I do. I'm going to go to this gym and work out. Some people come because they really do enjoy working out and they're looking for that challenge. Like my son is looking for that challenge and a workout like no other. So that's why he tried it out, he loved it, and comes all the time. Other people come and they're like, I'm not sure, I'm gonna check it out. And then once they come a couple of times and they see that camaraderie where they feel important, where that trainer is calling them by name, and that trainer is really doing group personal training because he will go with each person and help them into that squat or help them do their first box jump or help
First box
jump.
Box jump.
Box jump, which is really tough to do if you've never done it. And he'll show you modifications for you to get that way. And you know, you don't get that personalization anywhere else when you go to a gym. And I think that's what catches people off guard. And then just people being for real. Like you don't walk in there and you don't feel like you have to measure up to the person next to you. You don't sense that competition, that people that are trying to be, you know, just for them and nobody else. And it is amazing to watch how people who have never worked out in their life can step through our doors and take that class, and they're not sure whether they should come back or not. They come back again, and I always send them a postcard after they come for their first class, and we congratulate them, and we sign it from all of us and say, great job in getting through your first day at the hub. And then we check on them and send an email a week later and say, hey, how has your experience been? What change would you like? What would you like to see? And you know, it's that reaching out that I think is the magic, that is something different that nobody else does. And so people come to lose weight. We've had people that have lost 50 pounds. Stephanie Crenshaw is a member that started back in May, and she has lost 50 pounds just by coming to the hub and working out. And we featured her last month at our gym because her success story was amazing. And people need to be aware that, you know, we all face this struggle. Whatever our struggle is, you know, we're not in it alone. And it was great to hear her story that she could share with other people.
You know, we're the same age, or about the same age or whatever. I don't know how old you are, but in my mind, the guy who started this revolution was, you know who that is? I
do not.
You don't know who that is? Okay, maybe an older picture.
Oh, yes, Jack LaLanne.
Jack LaLanne.
Yes.
And to me, in my walnut brain, it seems like he was the start of it all.
He was the guru.
Was he the beginning of that? He was Francois Henry Jack LaLanne was an American fitness, exercise, and nutrition expert and motivational speaker. He is sometimes referred to as the godfather of fitness and the first fitness superhero. He was born in 1914 and he died in 2011, so he made it to 97 years old. Little guy, he was 5'6". But here's three of his top quotes. The only way you get that fat off is to eat less and exercise more. Do you know how many calories are in butter and cheese and ice cream? Would you get your dog up in the morning for a cup of coffee and a donut? Probably millions of Americans got up this morning with a cup of coffee, a cigarette, and a donut. No wonder they are sick and fouled up. I mean, and then his last quote, we don't know all the answers. If we knew all the answers, we'd be bored, wouldn't we? We keep looking, searching, trying to get more knowledge. But I thought he absolutely started this whole thing. I mean, I'm 55. He was the first. And what I like the most about Jack LaLanne is we grew up in Kansas. Mom, Dad were Catholic.
Yeah.
They had 7 kids in 3 days. You know, we had no money. And with Jack LaLanne, you only needed the ground and a chair. He's like, why do you need to lift weights? Just do a push-up. He said, why do you need to be in a squat rack? Just squat. And he didn't even use his chair 90% of the time. And that guy could do more exercises. And then for a lat pull, that was the neatest thing. Remember what he did for a lat pull?
No.
He put a belt on.
Oh, that's right.
With a rope and tied it to something on the side of the pool. And then he'd just get in the pool. He says, I don't want to swim laps and turn around and all that stuff. So in his backyard, his swimming pool, I kid you not, it was the size of a professional pool table. And he just put in his belt and he just got in the water and he'd swim for an hour.
Wow.
And he's just, and he was also big into nutrition. And I remember him always talking about when people were talking food labels. And what would Jack LaLanne always say? If it's got a label on it, you shouldn't eat it. You know, the stuff I eat, fruits, bananas, raspberries, meat, fish, chicken. He says, if you're eating right, there isn't a food label. So he says, no one needs to learn how to read labels on food. Just don't eat any food that has a label on it.
That's right. Get rid of the processed food.
And he was just a legend, pioneer. My mom and sisters loved him.
Yeah. And we need to learn from that, especially now.
Yeah.
And we also have the nutrition program there at the hub, which is really neat. We teamed up with the owner of Sparks Systems, and they come in.
Now, where are they out of?
They're out of Tempe.
Spark Systems?
Spark Systems.
And
we do
find that. Spark Systems Nutrition?
They do a testing, and they do your metabolic heart rate. They do it resting, and then they put you on a bike, and they see what your heart rate is and when you hit the wall. And we have done this for probably 35 of our clients already, and then they set up a workout program just for them and a nutrition program just for them. And you know, it's pretty grueling in the very beginning, because what they're doing is you're learning how to regroup how you eat and how you burn when you work out. So instead of burning all your sugar and carbs, you want to start burning more fats. And so they have you having no carbs for like 2 weeks. It's crazy, the system that they have. And a lot of people struggled with it. The first week they were getting ill, they were feeling bad. One lady was like, Tammy, could I just eat something? I feel awful. And I'm like, you know what, it's your choice. And I said, if you just want to hang on one more day and see what happens. She feels amazing. She had hit a plateau and wasn't able to lose any weight. And since then, she's lost 7 pounds, and she hadn't been able to do that prior to getting this nutrition. And it's all science created by Anna and Chris Sparks.
Yeah, their website. So they do their system in your gym?
So they'll come. They have their own office set up, but they will come and bring that to our gym. And then we've done the testing for the members there. We've also done the nutrition program. They came in and provided a breakfast for us for our open house last month and made egg frittatas. And they have their own hub website. Right, yep. They have their own website or on Facebook, Advanced Metabolic Testing, and they keep posting in there different recipes. Our members get on there, they're looking for recipes and posting. So it's so neat to learn how to eat pizza, and instead of using the crust, you're making a cauliflower, ricing it up, and using that as your crust, which is incredible.
That is so that lady comes to your gym and does that.
Yes.
Interesting. And you know, that's very I think it's nutrition's very consuming, because I mean, how many diet fads have you and I lived through? And
her claim to fame, and this is so true, that you can't out-train a bad diet.
Right.
So a lot of people think, I'm going to eat this, I'll just work out longer. That's not quite how it works.
You know how the best proof of that is if you go to the NFL. I mean, all those guys are working out 4 to 6 hours a day, but the linemen are eating so that after they work out 4 to 6 hours, they're still morbidly obese and weighing 350 pounds. And then the tight ends are eating chicken and vegetables because they want to be 9% body fat to run and jump up for. So if you want to run out for a pass and jump as high as you can, they're all working out the same amount every day, but based on diet, you're either 9% body fat and jump up and catch a touchdown, or you're a train like the Steelers. What they used to call the Steelers, was it the Hogs, or what did they call it when they had their Super Bowl?
Well,
no, that was the Redskins.
Steel Curtain. Remember the Steel Curtain? The
Steel Curtain. But those boys were eating Whoppers with cheeseburgers all day long because they wanted those front four boys to weigh a couple thousand pounds. So it's all diet.
And people don't understand that the weight that they could lose like that if they got off the processed foods. When you think of all the chemicals and everything has high fructose corn syrup in it, I got off processed foods probably 2 years ago. And now if I eat something, if I'm at someone's house, don't realize that it was a processed item, you will get right away. You will get that bloatedness. You'll feel like you're 8 months pregnant. You'll get those cramps. So it's amazing what our food does to our bodies if you don't eat on the outside of the perimeter of the grocery store.
Well, it's like Jack Lane said, would you wake up your dog to a cup of coffee, a cigarette, and a donut? You wouldn't do that to your dog.
No, so why are you doing it?
Yeah, it is. It's a complex. So how long have you been there now?
Well, I've been there since December, believe it or not.
So this is February. So you've only been there 3 months.
Yes.
So how do you like it?
It's amazing. We haven't even scratched the surface.
So what's the difference between Spark Systems Net and Spark Systems Advanced
Well, it's the Advanced Metabolic Conditioning, and that's where
is that
they
the
do
same
the whole.
company?
Yeah, it's the same company.
So
That's
it's the
where
same
they do
company,
the whole
but they
thing.
have two websites.
But they have a testing where you're going to get on that resting heart rate, then you're going to find out, get on the bike and see. So a lot of people want to find their zone where they're going to burn the most fat. For some people, it may only be at 97, some people 140. Some people go all out in a workout, and that's not the best thing because all that lactic acid builds up.
But it seems like what you were starting off with was that it's really the same psychological needs of whether it be a bar, what was that, the Cheers, or a gym that they want to go where everybody knows their name. And AA tried to do that. AAs think, well, you know, the reason old Mr. Cranston went to the bar after work every day, he just wanted to have someone to talk to.
Yeah.
So he would just go to the bar and sit the bartender, but end up drinking all night and became an alcoholic. So why don't we have an AA where it's like going to a bar, you're going to meet a bunch of other people, but we'll drink coffee instead of beer. And you're saying that the gym, when you go to a gym and you're isolated and you don't know anybody, that doesn't, it's more a stickiness factor. And staying longer if you go there and you start connecting.
It's a community and a
community.
culture that I can't describe. And so what happens, because you're working out, you're coming in for a need. And we may not know that need right away, but you're coming there for a reason. And after you work out, that's where the magic happens, because people are going to feel more energy. They're going to feel, they're going to lose that tiredness because maybe they're tired because they've been sitting all day. All they need is to get up and get moving. And so, once you start building up and you start seeing the change, that keeps you coming back as well. So there's so many factors that enter in when you come to the hub, and I can't pinpoint it all because everyone has different needs.
And a lot of this, everybody keeps talking about weight gain of Americans over the last 100 years. And a lot of people try to, it's obviously multivariate. It's not like one thing. Like some people trace a line just to corn farming, making high fructose corn syrup. But when we were little, all the adults had jobs that were physical. I mean, everybody was working, moving, and they came home and they were as physically tired as they were mentally tired. But now most people sit in a chair all day.
Yes.
Very different from back in the day, wasn't it?
And then because they sit all day, they're too tired to go work out. But 9 times out of 10, people come in our doors, you'll see they're tired from the day, and when they're done with that workout and they leave, total transformation.
So you have spin, you say it sells out. So then the other ones are
strength and conditioning.
Strength and conditioning. Now, do those classes do those sell out, or are you still?
No, they're not. Our HIIT is our most popular. I would think our HIIT class.
HIIT class.
That's the high intensity interval training.
What about the other one was yoga?
Fit. Yoga was not popular, so we ended up discontinuing that, believe it or not, because our HIIT classes are anywhere from 25, 30 people. We had an open house and we had 50 people in that class on that one Saturday. It was amazing. The fit class, and it also depends on the time when people can get there.
So what do you think if someone out there listening, sitting on the fence, what do you think is holding them back? Like, what do you think their objection is?
I think the only thing holding them back is their own boundaries that they put on themselves. Because how many times, our mind is a powerful thing, how many times do we talk ourselves out of something or into something which really has no effect on anything in the long run? So we're convincing ourselves that either A, we're too tired to go to the gym, we're not fit enough to go to that class, we're going to not be able to handle it. So all of a sudden, your mind has defeated you and you hadn't even walked to the bathroom to brush your teeth to go to class.
Is it open 7 days a week?
Yes, it is.
And what are the hours?
The hours vary. They open up 5 a.m. with a class, and then there's a 6 a.m. class, and certain days there's an 8 a.m. class, a 9 a.m. class, and then we have a 4:30 class, a 5:30, and a 6:30, and that's it. And then on Saturday, there's going to be
That's Monday through Thursday?
Monday through Friday.
That's Monday through Friday.
Correct. And on a Saturday, we'll have an 8 and a 9 a.m. class. And then that's it. And then on Sunday morning, we'll have an 8 a.m. class.
So you're home 7 days a week?
Yeah, but not very much, if you look at that.
So then if you have a 5, 6, 8, 9, So then you're kind of done at 10. Then you come back 4:30. So do you kind of have a split schedule where you work morning, then go home in the middle of the day, then back in the evening?
Yes.
Do you like this split schedule?
I do, because it gets me out in the community. I can go teach classes other places, so I can still do part of what I did, but not to that extreme. It's a great way to network. I became a member of the Ahwatukee Chamber.
That's where I found you.
That's amazing to meet the people there, the ribbon cutting, everything.
We're having ours tomorrow.
Oh, that's wonderful. Who are you meeting?
For the Tukeetown.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
It's at what time is it tomorrow, Ryan?
Oh, it's at noon, right? It's at your place at the dentist office tomorrow, noon to 1.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, noon to 1.
Yeah,
So
I'll
you're
see
gonna
you there
come?
tomorrow. I'll be
Oh
there.
my gosh.
That's awesome.
So you sound just exuding passion for this.
I just love it.
I mean, you do. You found your niche, didn't you?
And the people there are amazing. And it's so fun to watch them grow and blossom. You know, they come in quiet and shy, and everyone has something to bring to the table, no matter what it is. And, you know, you just wait for it. And
so you have nutrition coaching, too. So that's with the...
And we have a transformation contest, or not a contest, a transformation program. So that you can... If somebody is in there looking to just totally change their whole makeup, we have a program at $1,600, and it gives you personal training, 20 personal training sessions. It gives you unlimited classes for 3 months. It gives you the Sparks testing. It gives you a nutrition program. We do the measurements. We do accountability. We do the photos, all of that. And we have pictures of our clients that have done that, and it is unbelievable.
Wow. So I'm going to go back to demographics. So you said it was we have
all ages. So we have kids that come and work out with their parents. And then we have
but like how young's a kid? I mean,
probably a teenager.
Okay, so
although one of the owners,
so the youth starts at teenagers.
And we also do a teen fit class there on Thursdays at 4:30. And one of our trainers, Megan, works with these teenagers and does a fit class with them. You know, just works according to them. They may do some agility things. They may do some small weight training. I mean, it varies. She comes up with new things all the time. What I love about the hub is by bringing in people and opportunity, because we're not open all the time and we have that downtime in the afternoon and after 7:30, we can open up our doors to new possibilities, to other people that may need a location, to bring Ahwatukee together. Because in the end, that's what we should be doing, is helping one another. Because when you give, it comes back to you 100-fold. And by reaching out with this police detective and him...
And what was his name and website?
He is Scott, and I don't remember his last name. We have him on our Facebook page as an event. So let me go to our Facebook page. You would think I would have this memorized.
And he's from Gilbert, Arizona?
He is from Tempe.
Oh, he's from Tempe.
Tempe.
And he started his own business?
He started his own business.
And it's on lectures on...
It's internet safety, online safety specialist.
Internet safety class for kids and parents. Interesting. Internet safety.
Online safety specialist, and it's internet safety class for kids and parents. He's calling it OSS.
OSS?
Yes.
And what's OSS?
It stands for Online Safety Specialist.
OSS. Online.
So topics covered are sexting, sextortion, cyberbullying.
Sextortion?
Yes.
Huh. I'm learning all kinds of neat
Current
things.
chat lingo, online gaming, and more.
What's his website?
His website is www.onlinesafetyspecialist.com.
So when's he give your talk at
He's going to be at the Hub tomorrow, March 1st, from 7 to 9 p.m. And so the magic to that is, if you have the kids that come in, we do teach teen fit classes there. We have parents there. It just comes full circle from one business helping out another. It may give them a sense of belonging or something to do. You never know what's going to come out of it. So you always have to be open to possibilities.
Gosh, I don't even want to bring it up. It's so taboo, but
it's necessary.
But yeah, I hope our two high schools don't ever have the carnage that seems like every 3 months. It seems like several times a year.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Some high school goes crazy, and so maybe this policeman can help. Or
so that's what I mean about culture and community. We're not a gym. We're not just a place to work out. We're a place that embraces you and accepts you where you are, what you want to do, and we want to make you successful in whatever you do. So reaching out to him, we want his business to be successful.
And you know, they say with the gym that the hardest part of every workout program is the first foot out the door. Mm-hmm. And if you know the people you're going there, you might feel more like, I need to show up and I don't want to let them down. Whereas if you were going to a gym and you were a stranger, nobody knew your name.
And nobody holds you accountable. And that's what's different about us. And that's why our gym works. We have 4 words of success, and we have the program, we have the community, we have the accountability, and we have the culture.
Well, man, I'm so glad that you're in our community. You seem to be so optimistic.
Oh, it was a pleasure, and I can't wait to see how yours goes and be part of your ceremony tomorrow. That is so exciting.
So you're going to be there at noon tomorrow?
Oh, you bet I will be.
My gosh, well, thanks. You know, the thing I noticed is, I've been here 30 years, and 30 years ago, the Arizona Republic newspaper was like a log.
Yes, remember that.
And they were so rich that there was always reporters working the neighborhood. I remember they would just come into my dental office and say, hey, I'm looking for a story. You hear anything? Wow. They were beating the street. And newspapers have had a hard time, so it's gotten shorter and shorter and shorter, so then they have less staff and employees. And then it seems like the local news is all turned into keeping you focused on North Korea and Washington, D.C. and Putin and all this stuff like that. It's like, but I always thought, 99% of your problems are all in between your ears, in your home, and in your community. And if your life is not going to be affected by Putin and Turkey and and if you need to focus most on the man in the mirror. Worry about the man in the mirror. Don't worry about
everybody
North Korea.
Else, right?
Why are you spending all night watching the news, worried about Putin and these other guys? And then if between your ears, then it's your own community. I mean, your kids go to school here, they go to church here, they go to doctors here, they go to and I just think this Tukeetown might be one more leg, just like your community, one more thing to try to get our community to work better together.
Because Ahwatukee is unique, and it's very special.
No, absolutely.
And I think this is going to bring it to life. Because if you look back in the 90s and 80s, Ahwatukee was a tighter-knit community. And now I've seen it not quite be that way. And we have new businesses coming in. So it's time. And Tukeetown, I think, is going to be phenomenal at bringing Ahwatukee back together into something special like it used to be.
Well, that's the goal.
I can't wait.
And with people like you in Ahwatukee, I think the goal is achievable.
Together we rise.
All right.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you, Howard.